Welcome to Deep Dive by the Quiet Footnote. Today, we're diving into a real cornerstone of leadership thinking, John C. Maxwell's classic, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Yeah, this is definitely more than just another management book. It's a whole framework, almost a philosophy. And our mission today, for you listening, isn't just to summarize it. We're coming at this like avid reviewers.
Right. We want to look at it through, what, 3 lenses?
Exactly. First, what Maxwell really intended back when he wrote it. Second, why these ideas feel, well, almost startlingly relevant today. And maybe most importantly, what these laws mean for you, like as a daily practice.
Okay, so Maxwell kicks things off with this pretty powerful core idea, doesn't he? He doesn't frame leadership as just a job.
Not at all. He treats it more like physics, like gravity.
Gravity. Explain that a bit.
Well, his point is you can't really argue with gravity, can you? It just is. And he says these 21 laws are like, they're constants. They dictate how influence works. You ignore them. You fail as a leader. It doesn't matter what your business card says. You just have to learn to work with them.
And he saw a problem, right? A gap in the real world.
Oh, definitely. A huge systemic issue. He saw tons of people in leadership positions, managers, VPs, whatever, but a real shortage of actual leaders. It was a crisis of misunderstanding what leadership even means.
So this confusion between just having a title and having real influence, that was the core issue he wanted to fix.
That's it, exactly. People spend careers trying to look like leaders, chasing the title, thinking that's the source of power. But Maxwell's saying, no, that's not it. Real influence, real trust, that's something else entirely. He wanted to clear up that confusion.
And he starts with some foundational laws. The law of the lid comes up early.
Yeah, that one's crucial. Basically, your own leadership ability. That's the lid, the ceiling, on how effective you or your team can ever be. If you don't grow as a leader, you're actively limiting everyone else's potential.
And the other big one, right at the start, the law of influence.
The absolute bedrock. Leadership is influence. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. If people only follow you because they report to you, well, that's just authority. That's not leadership. Real influence is given to you by others, which, is why sometimes the person with the most influence on team morale might not be the boss at all.
Yeah. Okay, so if influence isn't about the title, it kind of shatters that whole hierarchical view of power, doesn't it?
Completely. And that naturally leads into, okay, so how do you build that influence? What are the techniques? And this is where Maxwell really gets practical. He focuses on, I'd say, 3 core shifts. Process, connection, and sacrifice.
Let's take the law of process first. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. That feels, well, almost countercultural now with everyone chasing overnight success.
It really is. It's like the ultimate anti-hustle mantra. We want the quick win, the viral hit. But Maxwell insists real lasting influence doesn't work like that. It's cumulative. It's built bit by bit, decision by decision, through daily consistency, really looking at your failures, reflecting. It's the opposite of a quick fix.
But, how does that square with the business world's demand for, quarterly results? Doesn't that steady, slow growth sometimes get overlooked?
You'd think so, but it's actually the key to sustainable results. Think about maybe like elite athletes or Navy SEALs. They master the fundamentals relentlessly every single day. You don't suddenly become a great leader during a crisis. The crisis just reveals the consistency you built up when things were calm. So in a way, that steadiness is speed, just over the long haul.
Okay, so process is the consistent action. Then there's the law of connection. That feels more emotional. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand.
Absolutely. Influence starts with empathy. It just does. You can have the best strategy in the world, lay out all the logical reasons. But if you haven't connected with people on an emotional level, understood their fears, their motivations, you might get compliance, sure, but you won't get real commitment. Maxwell points out communication is something like, 80% emotion? Only 20% logic. If you miss the 80%, you've missed the boat.
That rings true. Nobody goes the extra mile just because a PowerPoint slide told them to. They do it because they feel seen, understood, maybe inspired by the leader.
Exactly. And that leads to the third technique, which requires maybe the most personal honesty, the law of sacrifice.
A leader must give up to go up. That one definitely pushes against the idea that leadership is just about getting more power, more control.
Right. It frames leadership as a kind of surrender. You have to give things up.
Like what specifically? What does a leader need to sacrifice?
Well, often it's ego. The right to always be right, or the need to take all the credit, maybe the comfort of certainty, because leaders make tough calls with no guarantees. Sometimes it's personal time, energy. It's about putting the vision of the team ahead of your own immediate comfort or gain. Leadership isn't dominance. It's often this act of self-denial for bigger purpose. If you hoard the spotlight, ironically, you shrink your own influence.
Thinking about leadership as subtraction, not just addition. That's a powerful shift. So using these laws, process, connection, sacrifice, what were the big corporate myths Maxwell was trying to bust?
He really went after the common illusions about power. The first, we've touched on it, is the title trap.
Right, the idea that the position makes the leader.
Yeah, he completely demolished that. He basically democratized leadership, said influence is earned day by day, peer to peer. It's not granted by an org chart. You could be CEO and have zero real influence, or you could be entry-level and be a true leader people look to.
Okay, myth one busted. What's next? The allure of charisma.
The charisma illusion, exactly. We get drawn to that sparkle, that star power.
But it can be superficial.
Totally. Charisma gets attention, absolutely. But it's character, Maxwell argues, that earns loyalty, that deep trust. When the shine wears off, what's left? Hopefully, consistency. That's the law of solid ground. The flashy leader who isn't reliable, they eventually burn out or lose trust.
And the third big myth, the one we still see so much.
Oh yeah, the idea that control equals power. That micromanaging, hoarding information that somehow makes you stronger.
Which usually stems from insecurity, right?
Absolutely. And that's where the law of empowerment is so critical. Only secure leaders give power to others. Maxwell saw that insecurity as like this hidden rot in organizations. It stifles talent, kills initiative. The amazing counterintuitive thing is when you give power away, delegate decisions, trust people, your own influence actually grows because you're building more leaders. Hoard it, and it just stagnates with you.
So the really revolutionary thing he did, especially back in the 90s, was to say that ethics, humility, service, things often dismissed as soft skills, were actually the hard currency of influence.
Exactly. He argued you didn't have to sell your soul to lead effectively. In fact, you couldn't lead effectively long-term if you did. It was a moral case wrapped in a strategy guide.
Okay, let's fast forward. These laws are from '98. Why do they feel so incredibly relevant, maybe even more relevant today, in this crazy AI everywhere, digitally saturated world?
I think it's because we're drowning in noise and, frankly, struggling with trust. Think about it. Deep fakes, constant spin, scandals. We're experiencing trust fatigue.
Yeah, it's hard to know what's real sometimes.
Precisely. So in that environment, something like the law of solid ground, just basic integrity, being consistent, doing what you say you'll do, that suddenly feels like a radical innovation. People are starved for authenticity and dependability. If you can just be consistently trustworthy, your influence skyrockets.
And with AI taking over so many analytical, logic-based tasks, does that change the game for human leadership?
Fundamentally. The law of connection becomes paramount. AI can crunch numbers, write code, manage logistics, but it can't replicate genuine empathy, soul, or the ability to truly inspire another human being. Emotional intelligence, reading the room, telling a compelling story. Those uniquely human soft skills are becoming the hardest, most valuable assets. Leadership is shifting from managing tasks to inspiring people.
That makes sense. And it also seems to map onto how work itself is changing, more remote teams, flatter structures, project-based work.
Definitely. The law of empowerment is perfectly suited for that. Hierarchies are dissolving. If you can't empower people to lead and make decisions where they are, nothing gets done when you're not physically there or when you log off. You have to build influence that scales beyond your direct control. Empowerment isn't just nice to have anymore. It's essential for survival in distributed work.
So if Maxwell were writing an update today, dealing with things like burnout and our messy online lives, what new laws might he add? Just speculating.
That's interesting. Keeping with the spirit of his work, maybe two things come to mind. First, perhaps a law of digital integrity. Who you are online must consistently match who you are offline. In this transparent age, any gap between your curated image and your actual character gets exposed fast. And second, maybe something like the law of renewal to tackle burnout. Rest isn't a reward, it's a core leadership responsibility. He'd likely argue that sustainable influence requires sustainable energy. You owe it to your mission and your team to not burn out.
Framing rest as a responsibility. That's a powerful shift. Okay, let's try to boil this all down. What are the absolute core truths, the 5 key takeaways Maxwell really wants readers to internalize?
Okay, the essentials. First, leadership starts inside. Self-awareness, character management that comes before managing anyone else.
Got it. Second,
Influence is granted, not taken. Followers choose their leaders, always. Titles don't guarantee followership.
third,
Growth is a marathon, not a sprint. That law of process, daily, consistent effort is the secret sauce. It's quiet, but it's everything.
makes sense.
Fourth, Connection trumps command. People will go to the ends of the earth for a leader they feel connected to long before they'll do it just because logic or authority dictates it. Heart first.
And finally, the fifth takeaway.
Legacy outlasts popularity. The ultimate measure isn't how much applause you get now, but what positive impact continues and grows after you're gone. Succession matters.
Those are powerful. Let's make them even stickier by revisiting some top quotes with a modern lens.
Okay. His most famous, perhaps. The true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Today. That means getting eyeballs, being visible online that's not influence. Attention is cheap. Trust is earned. And only trust translates to real influence.
Right. And the one about pace. Leadership develops daily, not in a day.
In a world obsessed with algorithms rewarding speed and viral moments, this is a reminder that life rewards steadiness. True leadership is built in those consistent, often unseen, daily actions.
How about the connection piece? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
With AI handling so much of the knowing, this becomes like the last human superpower in leadership. Empathy, genuine care, that's your differentiator. That's what makes you indispensable.
And that final point on legacy. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession.
Yeah. Your impact isn't just the content you create or the deals you close. It's whether the positive change continues without you. Did you build other leaders? If everything collapses when you leave, you might have been performing, but maybe not truly leading in a lasting way.
Okay, that really brings it home. So for someone listening right now, wanting to put these ideas into practice, where do they start? Like today?
You don't need permission or promotion. Start with the law of solid ground. How? Practice a little daily humility. Be quick to admit mistakes. Seriously, that vulnerability builds way more trust than pretending you're perfect.
Okay, that's internal. What about looking outward?
Focus on the law of addition. Actively look for one small way every single day to add value to someone else's journey. Ask yourself, how can I genuinely help this person grow today? Shift from what's in it for me to how can I serve?
And applying the law of empowerment practically.
Delegate decisions, not just tasks you don't want to do. And this is key. Genuinely celebrate when the people you empower succeed, even if they outshine you. Adopt the mindset, I win when they grow. Make your goal to make yourself, in a way, replaceable by building capacity in others.
You know, stepping back from all the laws and techniques, there seems to be a deeper message here almost. Well, almost spiritual.
I think you're right. Underneath all the strategy, the unspoken truth is that this is really soul work. It's about character development. It's about becoming the kind of integrated, grounded, whole person that others are naturally drawn to follow. It's aligning your personal ambition with empathy and a purpose larger than yourself.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. Leadership today isn't really about demanding the spotlight or commanding attention. It's more subtle. It's about curating positive energy, building trust quietly.
Exactly. Every act of integrity, every consistent choice, every bit of empathy shown, it adds to this invisible current.
A current that keeps moving things forward long after you've stepped away.
Gentle, steady, maybe unseen, but ultimately really powerful, unstoppable even.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. We hope this leaves you feeling ready not just to manage, but to truly lead.